Texas, USA. A massive hailstorm has battered large parts of the central and northern Texas, unleashed chaos, damaged homes, and leaving thousands without power. The violent storm struck late Tuesday evening, pelting cities including Dallas, Fort Worth, and Waco, with the hailstones the size of baseballs. Residents described the sound of hail hitting roofs like a gunfire, as powerful winds shattered cars' windows and ripped through the neighborhoods. Meteorologists from the National Weather Service reported hail up to 7 centimeters in diameter, and wind exceeded 100 km/h. More than 215,000 households were left without electricity overnight, with emergency crews worked into early morning to restore power. It sounded like a roof was caving in, said Angela Torres, a resident of Arlington, who shared images in destroyed windows of waterlogged living room. "We huddled in a bathroom with our kids until pieces. I never seen anything like this in my life." Local authorities confirmed that dozens of vehicles were damaged and or totaled across major highways, and several flights for Dallas Fort Worth International Airport were delayed or diverted. Insurance experts estimated the damage could reach hundreds of millions of dollars, making it one of the most expensive hail events in recent Texas history. Fire department across the region responded more than 600 emergency calls, including house fires, sparks, and lightning strikes. In Austin, emergency shelters were opened to those displaced by the roof collapse and the flooding caused by the blocked drains. Meteorologists linking the storm and a strong cold front cauldron with a warm, humid Gulf air and a pattern increasingly common during spring and autumn. Dr. Michael Reno, a senior climatologist, warning, Texas has always seen severe storms, but with alarm now they grow in intensity. We're seeing longer hailstones and more frequent supercell formations. Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of emergency in several countries and deployed the National Guard and as the debris accelerate. In a statement, he urged residents to remain vigilant as further thunderstorms are forecast in the coming days. As the light broke since a destruction emerged, shattered skylines, stripped trees, and vehicles blanched in ice. Yet among devastation, stories and community resilience stood out. Volunteers from neighboring towns arrived with tools, drops, and fruit. Texas are through, said firefighters Ryan Galber in the Fort Worth. "We will build together stronger than before." Torrential rain and severe thunderstorm battered much of Texas, caused widespread flooding, property damage, and mass evacuation in several countries. The multi-day weather event caused a slow-moving low-pressure system, causing chaos in the such as Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and parts of East Texas. Horace County received more than 300 mm of rainfall in 36 hours, causing Bayonne drainage canals and flood control reservoirs to overflow. The Buffalo Beyond and the Brace Brew overflowed flood residential area to force an emergency service to conduct more than 500 rescue operations in Greater Houston area. Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of emergency in more than 13 countries, mobilizing Texas National Guard and activating Emergency Operations Center. "This is not just heavy rain," Abbott said in a new conference. "This is live threatening flooding that require immediate action." In Austin, flash floods turned roads into rivers, blocking vehicles and forcing dozens of water rescue. Several low-lying crossings were washed away, and the schools in Travis County were closed to safety reasons. Meanwhile, in the Dallas, floods warned heavy rain overflowing through drained, closing major interstate highway, including section in I-35 and I-20. The National Weather Service issued a flood warning that most of central southwestern Texas, northern the saturated soil, and additional rainfall could prolong to the crisis. Experts from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration warned that the climate trends to contributing for more frequent and intense rainfall for the southern United States. Western Alaska is reeling after the remains of Typhoon Halong come through the coastal line, unleashed in record-breaking winds, massive waves, and catastrophic flooding. Entire communities have been left under current disabled. The meteorologists are calling the most violent storm to strike Alaska in decades. The storm, which transformed it from the typical typhoon into the powerful extratropical cyclone, slammed it into the Bering Sea coast with the sustained winds up to 116 km/h, and the storm surged in opposite sea waters more than 10 feet island. Towns including Name, Gulliver, Hopper Bay, and a sheltered lake suffered the worst of the devastation. A witness described a terrified scenes of entire section of shoreline, watershed homes flooded away and finished boats and smashed to pieces. "I feel like the end of the world," said Martina Neural, residents of Gulliver. Officials say hundreds of homes have been damaged or destroyed. One of Alaska's largest western statements flooded swept through the historic downtown, leaving vehicles submerged and power lines torn apart. The National Weather Service confirmed that water levels were the highest ever recorded since 1968. This week, Alaska has been hit by violent storm and damaged the coastline, knocked down trees and caused sudden waves and a midway from Graces and low-lying area. From Juneau to Anchorage, emergency service rushed to clear highways, restore power, and reinforce river banks, while the residents assessment damage, searching for missing pets and the salvage family heirlooms. In the capital, a dramatic geyser breaking down in mid-hill catchment area, causing a rapid flood wave in overflowing local protective structures to cause the record water level in a mid-hill rivers. Residents of area near the riverbanks reported flooded yards and badly damaged small bridges. Quick action to authority and volunteers helped prevent more casualties. Across south-central Alaska, hurricane force winds uprooted centrally old poor streets and broke power lines, leaving thousands of people without power to several hours. Airports and ferries were shut down to runways and narrow were cleared to debris. Communities that depended to maritime transportation immediately felt in the impact. Officials said unusually warm air in a period atmosphere intensified system caused strong winds and more intense coastal waves that predicted. At the same time, tropical turbulence in the West Gulf of Mexico and the area high humidity rose to risk of flooding along the Texas coast and the neighboring region. Local forecasts indicate heavy concentrated rainfall. It could cause the flash flooding in low-lying area and urban area. Even the system never reached a full tropical cyclone stretch and reminded that flooding not one in the most common cause to death during the tropical threat in U.S. coastal plains in the southern Texas speeded up to preparation and monitoring the timing of the possibility landslide. Inland, severe storm brought destructive sterling live winds, lightened to localized flash flood to parts of the Midwest and Northeast. Rich episode to fallen trees, down power lines, and temporarily impossible highway. In Connecticut, intensified evening storms dumped several inches of rain in short period of time, caused localized flooding in hundreds of brief power outage with the utility quickly restored. Emergency official emphasizing the importance to hitting rapidly issue warning about the flash flood and severe thunderstorm, especially in the summer when storms intensify quickly. East of mountains, heavy rain pounding speckle country where water-loaded slopes slid into country roads and basements were flooded in minutes. Hospitals reported in sharp increasing in storm-related injury, including forced carbonate moxidons poisoning in indoor generation and hypothermia among the motorists stranded on the roads. Utility crews restored service in neighborhoods at the time, but the official warning to breaking in soil the trees could continue to fall even after sky cleared. Environmentalists feel the washed out travel the bus could destroy early establishment settlements, spawning grounds, undertaking to future recovery. Apple to hope growth in the Yakima Valley assessment standard water to end the damage. With the small related travel inventory, losers are here to holidays. Forecasters linking to even a powerful atmospheric river feeding to deep coastal depressions, ideal conditions to intense locally exhaled rainfall, with the possibility another front-loading emergency official urged residents to avoid flooded roads, photograph damage and increasing climate to keep emergency kit ready. As the immediate threat subside, Washington incident to slow parks, reappearing leaves, subsiding slopes and strangling state in the first line in the Pacific storm track. East of mountains, heavy rain pounding speckle country where water-loaded slopes slid into country roads and basements were flooded in minutes. Hospitals reported in sharp increasing in storm-related injury, including forced carbonate moxidons poisoning in indoor generation and hypothermia among the motorists stranded on the roads. Utility crews restored service in neighborhoods at the time, but the official warning to breaking in soil the trees could continue to fall even after sky cleared. Environmentalists feel the washed out travel the bus could destroy early establishment settlements, spawning grounds, undertaking to future recovery. Apple to hope growth in the Yakima Valley assessment standard water to end the damage. With the small related travel inventory, losers are here to holidays. Forecasters linking to even a powerful atmospheric river feeding to deep coastal depressions, ideal conditions to intense locally exhaled rainfall, with the possibility another front-loading emergency official urged residents to avoid flooded roads, photograph damage and increasing climate to keep emergency kit ready. As the immediate threat subside, Washington incident to slow parks, reappearing leaves, subsiding slopes and strangling state in the first line in the Pacific storm track. An intense weather from the swept across California, dumping torrential rain from the coast to the Sierra and turned millions of tourists to the fast-flowing rivers. Communities from the Los Angeles to the Bay Area and the Central Valley forced flash flooding landslides in the area affected by the wildfires, and the river levels have pushed all dams to their limits. In the Sacramento, St. John Dada and along the American River, offshore rushed in the rainforest levels and the stacked sandbars and the overflowing canals standard infrastructure built for the different climate. States and federal agencies have accelerated dams to the flood protection project after a dangerous situation, but the residents remain nervous and inspiration as it separates erosions and the weak spots. Agriculture and small businesses are counting their losers. Flooded fields, dumped in winter crops and damaged banking plants, filtering comments, all discredited things in the previous disaster. Analyzing one then, insurance payments were the counts and the only factors by the losers. Much of the economy is bordered falls and insurance producers on the local economies. The situation for the people is dire. Risk from the ranging water, power outage and shelters filling with up the families and pets. Officials are printing simple life-saving rules, turn around, don't down, document damage for the insurance claims, obey evacuation orders when the through planning said that the season should prove California and strengthen levels, updates from the drainage system and the rethink development in vulnerable floodplains. California is recovering after several days of heavy rain, with atmospheric front brought tropical moisture from the coast to the Sierra. Lola area from San Diego to the Bay Area wake up knee-deep in water with the car stuck in intensification. Inland, the Central Valley turned into the mosaic and makeshift lakes, the creeks split in fields and towns. In Los Angeles, storm drains overflowing and unprecedented filled with water in minutes. We watched as the crabs disappeared when the sidewalks in the street, said Marisol Vega on the Pecan Union. In the not along US 101, landslides scattered moved to the borders across the lines and sector of I-5 were predictably closed for the fast water rescue operations and debris removal, while the coast high waves and strong stuff washed over seawalls from the Pacific to Santa Barbara, a routing rift already weakening the windowed storm. The Sacramento San John Delta faced another danger, overflowed rivers put pressure at levels. This week the United States is experiencing unstoppable weather, from the intensified Atlantic hurricane through to rain coastal waves to intense connective outbreak to inland areas and unusual late summer atmospheric river poisoned to flood in the Pacific Ocean coast. The variety of hazards, hurricane force winds to the sea, torrential winds, inland flash floods and destructive winds gas is testing the resilience of emergency service and highlighting now the definite parts of the country must prepare to the very definite threat at the same time. In the Atlantic, tropical storm Irene was quickly developed into lamp track system and the forecast to become first hurricane of the season this weekend in the same moves west-north across the one way. Forecasts say it could rapidly intensify, complicating planning for the island communities to the coastal area along the West Atlantic and Bermuda when the center does not reach in the East Coast. Broad waves and a threat to reach current could cause dangerous south to the coastal flooding in some areas on the East Coast. Official and meteorological services are urged residents to to closely monitor update. Models show the possibility of the rapid intensification, a major hurricane of area moving west-northwest, increasing uncertainty from the island communities in the East Caribbean, and a rapid likelihood of dangerous wave for the currents along the U.S. East Coast. Even the storm center remind the offshore emergency management emphasizes the dangerous hurricane conditions. Large waves, coastal erosions, and life-threatening currents can occur before the far from landfall. Follow increased advisory to survive probably through the arrival times. Gulf and southwestern flood risk outside in the eye, along with the tropical threat to separate area of concentrated moist to the West Gulf and the advanced coastal area in the causing heavy slow-moving showers. Flooding remains the leading cause normally in tropical system when the weak tropical disbalance can cause flash flooding in urban corridor in low-lying coastal plains. Local medical service in the Personal Gulf and the southeast prioritize flood prevention, clearing drainage system, precautions pump, and updating evacuation notice for vulnerable communities.